everyone. How's everybody doing today? Welcome to Spirit Switchboard. I'm your host, Carrie Lynn Shellhorn, and you are listening to us live on the United Public Radio Network and the UFO Paranormal Radio Network, 105.3 in the Gulf Coast and 107.7 FM in New Orleans. If you are interested in finding out more of what UPN has to offer, you can head to uprntalkradio.com, find out more about the hosts and the shows. There is something for everyone. It is not all high strangeness and paranormal. Guys, I am so excited about this guest today. Everybody knows that I have been down the rabbit hole for the last few years, talking about experiences with aliens that we had as kids, remembering things, having my sister and my brother filling gaps, having this session with Marilyn Kaufman, the hypnotherapist. She's been on a few times, and the experience that I had in the Life Between Lives with her, and to have Dr. Atwater come on and be able to share from her experiences and perspectives. I'm just really looking forward to this today. Really looking forward to it. Denny, how are you doing? I'm really happy to see you here. Thanks for popping in. Okay, folks, let me read this for you. P.M.H Atwater is a distinguished researcher and near-death experiences, a prayer chaplain, spiritual counselor, and a visionary. Author of 27 books, including Coming Back to Life, Future Memory, We Live Forever, The New Children, and Near-Death Experiences, and Children of the Fifth World. And she lives in Charlottesville, Virginia. Please welcome Dr. Atwater. Do you want me to call you Dr. Atwater?
Hi.
How are you doing?
Just call me P.M.H.
I'm good with that. Thank you. I will call you P.M.H. That's awesome.
P.M.H. That's my first name anyway.
I love it. We're going to talk about and your book. I talked about it last week and the week before. I was promoting the book, and it's Aliens and the Near-Death Experience. It just was released on Wednesday. So I know that. Can you purchase it through Inner Traditions as well too, and your website?
Yes, Inner Traditions is a publisher.
Yeah.
So you can get it from Amazon.com now, but you can also get it from Inner Traditions, Bear and Company. Yeah, the book's out there, finally. Yeah, it took me 3 years to do it, but I got it out there.
It took 3 years?
Yeah.
Wow. And why now? Like, what led you to connect the two fields? Because those are two fields that stay very separate. The near-death experience, aliens, like it's not necessarily put together. So
No.
What?
Tell me. You want to know just a little bit more about me?
I would love.
1977. A little bit before then, I was raped. I had a baby, became pregnant, and then I physically died 3 times. I died January 2, January 4, and March 29 of 1977.
Wow.
And in my near-death experience, I was told by an incredible voice, I have nothing to compare this voice to. Can't compare it to an angel or, nothing. And this voice said that I was to do the research, 1 book for each death. And so in 1978, I walked out on a great job and a wonderful living in Boise, Idaho. I'm an Idahoan, and went first to watch the sun set silver over the Atlantic, I guess. No, the Pacific. And then meandered across the United States and watched the sun rise golden on the East Coast. So I had an opportunity to live in Washington, D.C., work in that part of the country and then begin my work that was to be in books that I was told to do by this voice. So that's when I really,
That's a lot of
self-committed.
trust.
Yeah, I was in Washington, D.C. Can you imagine me in Washington, D.C.? I mean, it was so funny. This one time, I worked for a company that was located in Virginia, and they sent their people out to teach people how to use the new switchboards. Well, I didn't know beans, but they sent me out. And this one time, I was in the Washington, D.C. area, and this guy, the cabbie, and I kid you not, that man was the blackest man I have ever seen. I did not know skin could be that black. And I found myself staring at him, and he looked at me and smiled, and he says, "You died just like I did." And he got up and told me all about his near-death experience. Wasn't that great?
So,
and things like that happened all the time. I would be walking in Washington, D.C., just walking along the sidewalk, minding my own business, and this woman comes up to me and kind of whispers in my ear and says, "Oh, I've just got to tell you about the time I've died. I've got to tell somebody about the time I died." And that's the way it went.
I have a question about that.
Yeah.
Is that okay? So my question would be, the voice that told you to research, super cool that you just trusted and jumped, right? Which I believe that when you trust and move forward, you're just going to keep getting more of that. Do you feel those people, from the gentleman that spoke to you, to the lady that was just walking by, the taxi cab driver, do you feel that voice was inside them, urging them to speak to you? Do you think they were prompted and they just followed suit as well too?
I don't know if it was a voice or not, rather maybe a feeling.
Right.
Now when they'd send me out on their jobs, the company I worked for, they would send me out all over the eastern part of the United States. And the various places I would go to, I would invariably find a near-death experiencer. And I'll tell you about one of them because you'll get a kick out of it. I was taking my break. I was in this truck stop, and I'm in the middle of the truck stop. There's a little table, and I'm sitting down reading this newspaper or book. And this guy came up to me. I swear he's as wide as he was tall. And he said to me, "Lady, is there anybody sitting there with you? Can I sit there with you?" Well, sure. So he sat down, put both elbows on the table, looked me eyeball to eyeball, and he said, "I want you to know all about the time I died." And he told me about his near-death experience. That's the way it went. It did not matter where I was. And families would find out I was in the area, like in Arkansas. They'd bring the whole family and the kids. And they want the kids to meet me. So I was meeting children who had near-death experiences. I was meeting teenagers. I was meeting older people. It didn't matter where I was. There they were.
Were the experiences similar? Like, was there a similar pattern with children, teenagers, adults, or were they having different experiences from your research?
But what's similar is the way it affected them. And that was, it really turned their life around. They couldn't fully understand it, but they knew that it was different, it was just special, and they needed to follow it.
So why would that first year after a near-death experience be so important? And then how would that be different if you're the parent of a kiddo that's had that experience and an adult? How would you treat that?
Well, some of them are scared. A lot of them are scared. Some of them just, they want somebody to talk to. You'll get a kick out of this. I finally decided I was wearing one of those boards that you wear on your back that said, "Tell me all about your near-death experience." I was wearing this board.
So
There they were.
our friend Mish is in Australia. She's just chiming in the chat. Thank you so much, everybody, for being here. I hope you saw I was calling up or bringing up your names and giving a little wave. I appreciate all of you being here. So Mish, our friend in Australia, is asking P.M.H, are people still coming up and telling you their stories?
Oh, yes. Never quit. Never quit.
Do you record them?
Not anymore.
No.
Sometimes I may write them down.
You hold space for them, though.
I don't record them.
But
no,
listen,
I've heard too many, thousands and thousands. You know, why would I record them?
So does it stay the same? I guess.
Look at this book. This is
that's the one, folks, that just came out on Wednesday, Aliens and the Near-Death Experience.
You got to know about this book. First, let me say that voice that came to me in 1977 was like no other voice I've ever heard. Not an angel voice, none of that. And that voice is very specific. You are to do the research, one book for each death. So I've certainly done that and more. And that voice came back to me 3 years ago.
Oh,
3 years ago, that voice came back. And it said to do this kind of research on aliens. And I just screamed, no, I don't want to do that. And I finally got through screaming and decided, okay, maybe this is the last command I'll ever get. So I started.
If you have a background, you're a chaplain.
I was a chaplain. People came up out of the woodwork, I swear, knocking on my door all over everywhere, saying, I want to help you with your new research project. So I got the 38 that are in the book, and that I really look at and examine. And then I reveal something else. And I'm not going to tell the full story.
Nope.
But I'm going to reveal the fact that I'm from another planet too.
Joanne is asking if the voice was male or female.
Neither.
Is it a frequency? Do you know what I mean? So I guess, did you hear it inside ear or outside ear? Inside ear, like in your head?
Or my full head. My full head, everything. There it is. Yes.
More and more people are having that experience of recognizing being from somewhere else. And is the somewhere else interdimensional?
Well, I discovered. Well, I knew all the time, but I didn't talk about it because I didn't want to. That I came from a water star that went nova in the Sirius system. Well, who's going to talk about that?
Well, I don't know.
You're not going to talk about that, so I never talked about it. And then I married. My husband Terry had an opportunity to meet Arrakis. That's his name's Arrakis. I had an opportunity to meet him too, and we played with him maybe for a year or so, and decided, nope, this is not for us, because this being wants something we're not ready to give, and it's not ready to handle. So we stopped it. And afterward, I did have some hypnotic sessions where people put me in hypnosis. That's in the book, by the way. You want to know more about that, you want to get the book.
Yes. My hard copy, so I bought 2 copies actually, because I bought the Kindle copy yesterday, so I could read it quicker, but not enough time before today. And the hard copy will arrive tomorrow. So I'm going to email you back later and let you know when I get to all those parts. So Julie, okay, so Carolyn, she did respond to that. I hope you heard that answer, because Carolyn was asking, do you know the name of where you are from? So you did respond.
No, and nor am I interested.
Mm.
Not the least bit interested. What I'm interested in is the various people that came into my life, where we were able then to work with this and go further. People like Whitley Strieber,
Yes,
Dr. Several doctors, and Dr. John Mack.
yeah,
John Mack was especially interested in this because, well, you know, he's written several books that, you know, bestsellers, and he and I became good friends, and it reached the time where Mac and I needed to sit down together and really work on this particular voice pattern being. And we made an appointment for 2 months. I was going to be up in the Massachusetts area and we could get together. So we did. But during those 2 months, Mac was in London, didn't step right, stepped out in front of a taxi cab and was killed.
Oh,
So Mac and I never got to get together, but a lot of that material is in the book. A lot of the material about John Mack and what I learned from Whitley Strieber and from...
and his case is so well known.
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
So,
well, Whitley and I, we became friends. He and his wife, Anne and I, and Whitley became friends long before he was famous. And we were doing this circuit, if you will, and he would be up at the you know, the big speakers place, and he would be rehearsing his talk while his wife and I were back behind the curtains just laughing. We thought, this is so funny.
So is a community important, like for people who've had near-death experiences from children to adults, that sense of community and having other people who get it?
Oh, absolutely. You want IANDS, IANDS, the International Association of Near-Death Studies. You want to get to them right away. They have a full program, including places where you can go from your living room if you want and visit. Anything you want about the near-death experience, get hold of IANDS. Absolutely get a hold of IANDS.
Thank you for sharing that. Julie Krause is saying, ooh, love the cliffhanger of being from another planet. How many of us, in your perspective, are from another planet?
Well, depends on how you look at it. If you look at the group I came in, no, there weren't that many. There were 15 ships that were able to flee while our water planet blew up. And we came Eocene period, thousands and thousands of years ago. And we came, and most of our spaceships broke up. Where I landed was where Southern California is now, and they have a planetary there. And I went there to visit Dr. Elizabeth Kubler-Ross because she and I were friends, and And so I waited in line to visit the planetarium. And while I was waiting in line to visit the planetarium, I visited, or I became, what I once was. That is to say, the eyelids go up and down this way. Not this way. Not this way. But up and down this way. And I could see everything. Every little molecule I could see. And it was interesting to realize that I was once this kind of being, because the people from where I came from, there was no sex, there was no male female. We would divide, and the divisions would come like maybe every couple of years or so. We'd divide, and we had these special kind of dome-like structures where we could go and stand on the kind of like this ruby button on the bottom, and that would activate. And we would be there for maybe a year and a half, maybe 2 years before we then became two and we could leave. So there was no such thing as babies. There was no such thing as sex.
Right.
And it was a very different way to live. And so when I came finally to the planet Earth and living where I was living, I finally burned up. I finally died by fire. But that's discussed in the book, the why and what became of me.
Yeah.
And the why really was to enjoy and spread and bless this planet. None of this nonsense that you get about in the Queen of England and how bad she is and all this stuff. Forget that stuff. If you look at what might really propel ancient or different beings to come to this world, it's very different than what you hear about people. Oh, well, he's on my shoulder, I'm talking to him, he's in the wall. It's different.
Can I read you something?
It's a whole different way of living and being and seeing and knowing.
I love that. I love that. Denny is sharing. I wanted to read this for you. I read her books, but this is awesome to hear her stories live. Thank you.
Bless you. Yeah. Great.
Hi, Heidi. Heidi is saying good day. Much love from Boulder, from Boulder, Colorado. You're having a squirrel brain today? That's okay. I think we all get that way. So light beings then. Beings of light, telepathic communication, journeys to other realms. Those are patterns with both alien experiencers and near-death experiencers.
Well, yes, but to a point, because an alien experiencer, if you get a real alien, they're looking at things very, very differently, and they don't. They're not interested in life after life and all this kind of stuff. To them, that's garbage. They're more interested in what they can pursue and then leave. And that's
what do you mean pursue?
Pursue in the sense of learn more. Leave in the sense of fire and dying. You see, it's nothing for Arrakis. to die. I mean, it means nothing. It's not like you and me. And so when it was time to burn up, he burned up. And so that last part is in the book. And the whys are in the book. And another way of looking at John Mack is in the book. John had through hypnosis, he was an excellent hypnotist. He could hypnotize whole families or, several people and what have you, and go back to where they came from, be it another planet or wherever. And he wrote several books that became very, very famous. But he knew about Arrakis, and he wanted to meet Arrakis. And of course, he died 2 months before I could get up there. But this idea that maybe there's another way of looking at aliens. Maybe there's another way of looking at this whole package. Maybe there's another way of looking at beingness. Because remember, Arrakis came here during the Eocene period of planet Earth. So that's thousands and thousands of years ago.
So were you given information, or do you have that information if there were other planets here at that same time too?
Some of that information is in the book.
Okay. Book, folks, Amazon.com, Inner Traditions, P.M.H Atwater website.com. Please check it out. I have two copies of the book. I have 2 copies of the book, but the hard copy's not coming until tomorrow. And I just didn't have enough time yesterday to speed through the whole thing.
Oh,
but I got it.
Well,
you're gonna have to finish
you'll
reading
find in that book how grateful I am to have been what I was, be who I am, and someday die when I die.
Did it change how you interacted with people? Or how you perceive people?
No. The whole idea of research, as I was told to do, changed that. But the idea of aliens, that was a little different. And people weren't always that willing to talk about that, or if they were, it's fantastical tales of aliens. And that interested neither my husband or myself, because we knew what a real alien was.
So, okay, Mish is asking, real alien or fake ones? Real aliens, and is it imagination or perceived experience? Is it experiences that are mind control from other organized?
There were 15 ships that came over, and they landed in all different parts of the Earth. So their idea or thought or seeing of this planet and its people, and you didn't have much in the way of people then, but this planet was the idea of exploring and finding out what's here and why. And that was special. And when I was writing the book, Aliens and the Near-Death Experience, I was with a friend in Southern California. They had an observatory there. And remember, I was sitting on that chair, seeing how different my eyes were then. They weren't lidded like they are now. And it's fascinating how different beings can be.
Right.
And I'm grateful for the experience. I'm grateful to have once been this incredible being. And I'm grateful for who and what I am now. And I'm even grateful for being woke up at 3:15 in the morning by this voice that said, it's time to do this new research. And I'm going, no! I didn't want to do any more research, but I
Do
did.
you feel that everybody has a purpose to be of service in some way?
Mhm. Yeah,
Mm.
yeah,
Yeah, I agree. I agree with that. I live that way too. That we're all meant to be of service to one another in some
yeah,
way. Yeah.
yeah.
Julie
So
Krause is asking, are other people in your family connected to aliens or have had contact?
not that I know of.
Oh, there's my Bruce.
That must be your dog.
It's one of them. Bruce. That is Bruce. He's like very vocal. He lets everybody know outside that he's inside.
It's like, oh, hey, I went inside. Outside, whatever.
Yeah, he just would really like to play with everybody that walks by.
I'm grateful for the life I have had and the life I still have. You know, at 88, who knows? But,
Mm.
and this incredible man I'm married to.
Oh, that's
He's
beautiful.
just incredible. Let's see if I've got a picture of Terry that I can. Oh, yes, that I can show you. That was taken some time ago, but it gives you an idea. Isn't that the cutest
He's
man
cute
in
as
the whole
cutie.
world? He's cute. He's
Cutie.
cute. Yeah, yeah. Where, how, we're 46 years apart. And
Mm.
every year gets better than the year before. Don't go to this nonsense about how different people can love or not love. That love is in you, it's in your heart, it's in your being. And we just enjoy each other so much. He's just
You,
oh,
you've been,
46 years of marriage. He's great.
I love that. Do you think that that sense of being grateful for everything, grateful for everything is
Even the crappy stuff.
well, yes, for sure. Even the crappy stuff. This is true, though. This
Yeah.
is true. Being grateful for the crappy stuff. That when people don't have gratitude or don't live in gratitude, that's where that feeling of being disconnected can happen.
Yes, I feel that I'm where I am. I am doing what I'm supposed to be doing, and it's okay if things don't turn out quite like I want them to. It's like
Right.
3 years when that voice came to me and said I was to do more research, and I did not want to do any more research. I do plan someday to write another book, but it will be a book of thought forms. Yes,
Oh,
thoughts can have their own forms.
I agree.
So
I
someday I want to
agree.
write a book about thought forms.
That's brilliant.
That'd be fun to do.
You're very inspiring.
Well, I'll tell you, every day and every moment is so precious. Whether it's good or bad,
Yeah,
it's still precious.
it's true.
So I just enjoy it.
And it all matters.
It does. It does. Even when you make an ass of yourself, it still matters.
I laugh at that. I did that earlier today. Yes,
Oh,
yes, I did.
well, in this lifetime, I was raised by Norwegians from the Sogne Fjord in southern Idaho. Figure that one out. So I was raised by Norwegians in southern Idaho. Yes. I've always had an interesting life.
So in that, how much do you feel, maybe I'm not going to phrase this right. Do we pre-plan that experience?
Well, a lot of people pre-plan their experiences. A lot of them.
Right.
And there's hypnotists that find this out. I was
Yep.
never interested. I was rather interested in living the life I had.
So I was not interested in having a past life regression either. There was no, to me, I have been all genders, tall, short, thin, all of it, good, bad. But I was interested in that when she said life between lives, I'm like, oh, that'll be interesting. And then there was an intention, and it was a really great experience. It was pretty fabulous, actually. I love Marilyn Kaufman. She's been on 3 times, and she's very patient with all of my questions because I didn't understand a lot of that stuff. Anyway.
Well, we go to Unity Church, and that's an open church, no set religion, it's unity. And we go there every Sunday, and we just enjoy it thoroughly.
Is it the community and the messages and do you feel the love and gratitude in the space?
Yes, it's a community. Yes, it's the church. Yes, it's the beingness that's in there. But more than that, it's that sense of all that is.
Oh, that's the phrase I use too.
All that is here.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And it's within us.
Yes.
But I have talked about this book 3 weeks in a row now on the show. It's a book by Chara Curtis. It's an older book. It's a children's book, and it's called All I See. And it's about everything that you see is a part of you and is a part of all that is. I read that to the kids when they were very small. And now I have grandchildren. So I'll have grandchildren plural come September. Right now I have 1, but I will have 2 come September. So
I have great grandchildren.
Oh, I'm so excited about that. I can't wait. It's all exciting.
It is. Well, life is exciting.
Mm-hmm.
Even just, walking up and down the stairs is exciting.
So
doing dishes is exciting. I like to play with the bubbles. No, I don't use a washing machine, a dishwashing machine, because I think they're stupid.
I don't have one either.
Use sinks.
I agree. I don't have a dishwasher either. I had only owned a microwave, I think, for 4 years now, and I bought it because my mom complained every time that she came that there was no microwave. But up until then, my kids grew up with not even a microwave. Like everyone thought it was Little House on the Prairie when they came over. But
that means something to me.
Didn't need it. So having a sense of wonder, how important is that? Seeing life like through that sense of wonder.
Every day.
Yeah.
Every day. Life is so valuable. And it's so wondrous. Okay. Even a new furnace in our home. What a privilege. This is just so great that we can do that. And everything I have, it's wonderful.
Thank you for sharing all of that. I missed a question. I want to bring it up. Carolyn is asking, did I get it up? I did not. Let's try again. There we go. Carolyn Lee was asking, where have you traveled to that makes you feel energy that has pulled you there, or that pulls you there?
Well, everywhere for a while.
Mm.
Because I was in the early days of my research, but I was also in a job where I needed to perform and do, the switchboards. And I didn't know anything about the switchboards, but I learned. And it took me all over the eastern part of the United States. So it didn't matter whether I liked it or not. It was wonderful. It was really, you'll love this. This one job I was sent to, and I was living then in Roanoke, Virginia, which is southern.
My
And,
friends live in there.
and I was sent up to New York City. And I was to help put in a new switchboard system. Well, no, I was sent up there to find out what was wrong with their switchboard system. They were having nothing but trouble. This big, huge hotel. So I went up there, and I went up to the tippy top, and watching the switchboard operators. And when they weren't looking, I'd open up all the cabinets so they couldn't see me. And then I'd enter the light, and I'd go all over that hotel. And I would check and see what was really going on. And then I'd come back into my body. And so I was there, I think, about 4 days. And then they brought me back then to Roanoke, Virginia. I was still living there. And so I wrote up this 50-point report of what I saw, wrote it all down, handed it to my boss. And the next day, he had me come in, sit down on, here's his office, and sit down in front of him in his office. And he never once looked at me. He looked down all the time. And he says, I want you to know that because of everything you found, we found all the problems, and we were able to fix the entire system. Thank you. Then he got up and left. And I just roared with laughter. This guy couldn't look me in the face. And it's like, this is good. This is really good.
It's pretty cheeky.
Yeah, well, anyway.
It's pretty cheeky. It's cool that you did that, though. And the remote viewing, it wasn't remote viewing. Is that what you would call it?
Not what I do.
Mm.
No, you might find it very interesting. We lived for a while in Harrisonburg, Virginia.
Okay.
A lot of Mennonites there.
Mm.
And I was working on my book. I'd been around Kenneth Ring a lot, and Ken said, you got to write your own book. So I'm there working on a book to the best of my ability. And so I'm working in the den, and you can see the front door to our apartment from a diagonal. So I'm busy working away. And my youngest daughter popped in. She says, Mom, who's that guy leaning over your shoulder? Oh, I said, that's Doug. He died last year in a motorcycle accident.
Yeah.
He what? Yeah, he's here to help me write a letter to his mother. Mm-hmm. And she said, Mother, I can't handle this. So she turned around and left. That was so funny.
That sounds like how our household ran with me and the kids. And the folks that are in spirit. And that's why I use the term frequency, right? Like it's leaning into different frequencies. And light is a frequency.
Yeah, that's true.
Carrie, I love this. Carrie is our friend in Calgary. She's saying she is me when I reach her age. Goals. Agreed. Agreed. I don't even know where to go now. I wanted to talk about telepathy. And I mean, that's
Where do
something
you
that,
go now? Well, where you go now is
yeah.
appreciate how incredibly gifted and wonderful you are. That's
Oh,
where you go right now. You see that, you feel that, and you know that's who and what you are. And knowing that gives you the energy and the insight to do all kinds of things, even walk out your own door. I have to use a cane now. My body has changed a bit. And so I use a cane now, and I've been making this cane sound as I walk around. And sometimes I don't. And it's just, to me, such a such an incredible world we live in. All the different things can happen. You know, I mean, you can fall down and break your neck, but it's still part of this incredible world you've been given.
mhm.
So what are you going to do with this world you've been given? Well, I'm going to enjoy it. I may make an ass of myself, but I'm going to enjoy it.
Love
And,
that.
and I especially enjoy washing dishes. I don't want those stupid cabinets that run around and spin. Throw it out the door. I have a real basins, and one for washing, one for rinsing, and then um, uh, and I can put the plates and stuff on this rack over here. And so when I uh, 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 put the joy or whatever it is, the soap in the water, you'll get bubbles all over everywhere. Bubbles, bubbles, bubbles. And I enjoy watching the bubbles.
Bubbles are fun.
That's fun.
Yeah, bubbles are
Oh,
fun.
I enjoy washing my own dishes.
Yeah.
I enjoy cooking for my own husband. By the way, I get a pizza tonight for doing this show.
Did you have to be coaxed? That's the reward for coming on. Or is it that you need fuel your energy again after?
Oh, that man is just a
And what
saint.
kind of pizza? What kind of pizza?
I don't know, and I don't care.
You love it all?
Yeah, I don't know, and I don't care. Let him pick it out what he wants, and I know I'll love it. So it doesn't matter.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
I love that.
You know, it's a privilege just to touch this man. It's a privilege to be where wonderful people are, because all people are wonderful. To go to church, not to go to church, go to a movie, walk around.
Do you feel some people forget how wonderful they are?
Oh yeah, they do.
So
And
if
that's,
we remember and reflect that, will it help them remember?
well, I think it will.
That's our hope, eh?
I hope it will. But you know, I'm just me. I can only be myself, and I can be the best self I can be. So that's what I do.
I
I be the
appreciate
best self
you.
I can be.
I appreciate you.
I appreciate you too.
When you were doing your research for this new book, when you meet people that have had similar experiences to you, I know that you said you befriended John Mack and Whitley and Anne. Anne has passed, has she not? Am I
Yeah,
remembering
she
that?
passed away a long time ago.
Yeah. So do you make friends with did you make friends with any of those 38 people that you researched as well too? Is there a kinship with some of them?
With some of them.
Yeah.
One of the things that you'll find out when you read the book, of course, there's a lot of things you're going to find out. But this is from the Twin Falls Times News. That's in Idaho. And Magic Valley, which is in southern Idaho, we're being what's the word? Bombarded by these things that would go up and down the canyons. And now we talk about an Idahoan that first found or saw UFOs and all this kind. Look, Idaho is full of it. UFOs going up
Idaho
falls all the time. It's like a big deal. All the time they were doing it. Let me see. Oh yeah, in my own near-death experience. This is some of the forms I saw.
That's fascinating.
If you want to know how energy works, here it is. And it's in the book. By all means, get the book. And let's see. And there's the 38 cases, then John Mack, then the Omega prototype. A lot of stuff here. Seems to me like I've got a picture in here. Hold on. Yes. Of Arrakis.
Okay. So do they present to people like in a shadow form?
No, it's not a shadow form. It's a being.
Mm.
It was a real being. And that's what it looked like. And then it finally burned itself out because it, didn't want to live anymore. But it was an interesting experience. Very interesting.
What about consciousness? Talking about consciousness.
Yeah. What you can do with your mind. And what your mind can show you and open up for you. It's just fabulous. Yes, you can get into the heavy stuff. You can get into cooking and what it can be revealed for you. You can go outside and see more than you've ever seen before because you're open to it. But just the idea that you are a child of a greater reality, no matter where you are, no matter what you're doing. God is there. Richness is there. The holiness of a single moment is there.
It's beautiful. This moment is beautiful.
Yes. It's beautiful because we call it beautiful, because we feel it as beautiful, because we're filled with that beauty that comes from us. It comes from our heart. It comes from our soul. It comes from our beingness. We all have it. Some of us choose to develop it. Some of us don't. Some of us would rather be assholes. Well, if that's what they want to be.
Oh, so I say that all the time. I say they're just being the best asshole they can be. They're just
sure
the best that they can be. Yes, Jenny and Bigfoot.
Yeah.
What about Bigfoot?
Oh, yes. I almost forgot to tell you. All of your listeners, hear this. Get on my website, www.P.M.H Atwater.com. Once you're on my website, scoot over to newsletter. I produce a free monthly newsletter every month, of course. And older copies are there. You can sign up to get the copies there. And it's filled with all kinds of magic and wonder, and all kinds of things can be in the newsletter. And sign up to receive it. You get it every month. I also have a blog. So if you had a case, submit it. I'll put you in the blog. And it's the idea of sharing the magic of life with everyone.
So when you say if you've had a case, do you mean a near-death experience or an alien experience?
Well, I've never met the alien yet, but yeah, something that you would like to share, send it.
So www.pmhatwater.com. You can submit there. Jackie, my sweet friend, Jackie White, is sharing, I'm enjoying this conversation and banter so much. I can't stop feeling joyous, and the smile is planted on my face.
Well, that's what life is. Even when you're pissed, that's part of the.
I don't get that way very often.
Oh, sometimes I do.
Yeah, sometimes, but not very often.
But it doesn't stay long.
No.
It doesn't stay.
No. I still recognize it and feel it and then move on from it, right?
Yeah. Well, there's just so much here.
Mm-hmm.
And and there's politics, and there's church, and there's friendship, and there's wonder. Just wonder.
Thank you, Denny.
About this incredible world we're in, and the things that we've done. Some of the things I've done, I really don't want to talk about, but there they are. Did them.
When Denny asked about Bigfoot, alien, forest, person, what about all the different beings that people are experiencing? Like, there's more and more people seeing Bigfoot. Was it in Ohio? In the last few weeks, people seeing Bigfoot in Ohio. There's lots in Northern Ontario as well, too. So I know this is maybe outside the wheelhouse, but
they want to see them. They want to see them, so they draw them out. Of course.
So our intention matters with our experience.
It makes a big difference, but also common sense. If you're going to go out on a big trip, tell people. So they know you're going and when and about where.
Right.
You don't just go trapping along without telling somebody. That's pure nonsense.
I don't know. I get pretty wild and leave my cell phone at home and go to the grocery store so nobody can call me when I'm there. I need a break.
Yeah, it's time to go to the grocery store. Well, I have the joy of kissing the man who walks in the door each night and wakes up each morning, and just how privileged can one person be? I mean, he's just pure joy. People say, well, he's another color. Big deal.
Oh.
Doesn't matter. Excuse me. All I know is I married an angel.
Sounds like he did too.
He married a happy one. Yeah.
Mish is sharing, my mom had a near-death experience. She said she was in in a circle of people and light flashing over everyone. It stopped on my mom and she got another chance.
Well, you ought to go through some of the other books I've written. One in particular, that I'm trying to think of the name of it, that you really ought to read. Certainly Future Memory. Future Memory will change your brain as you read it.
Denny, did you read that one?
Future Memory is written on the pattern of a labyrinth. Future Memory is not a book, it's a labyrinth. So when what do you do in the labyrinth? You enter the labyrinth. Once you're on your path, you stay on the path. Doesn't matter how goofy the path is or where it goes, you stay on the path until you're through. Okay. If you do, then having read the book will begin to change your brain and how you think. So read The Labyrinth. The Labyrinth is Future Memory. It is not a book. It is a labyrinth.
That's fascinating. Thank you. So that's where you want us to start. Okay.
It's a good place to start. You begin to change your own brain and change the physiology of it.
So that's when I shared that little bit with you prior to the show starting and going live. That is what that being showed me for my son.
Good.
And it did change everything.
Yeah, it does. Absolutely. That's why we walk a labyrinth.
Yeah, it changed everything.
Yep.
Which is good. Okay. Oh, my grandpa had a near-death experience as well too. I forget about it. Yeah, he did. And he was a very stoic German, tradesman, farmer guy. And he said in his near-death experience, he saw this light, and on the other side of the light were his brothers, his father, a field of roses, and all of the horses that they ever owned.
Wonderful.
Yeah. And so they told him it wasn't his time. He had to go back. And so then he came back to us, and he said he was no longer scared to die because he knew this place.
Isn't that the truth?
Yeah. So you got to a blissful place. Like in one of the sessions that I did for someone, whoever they may be, so put me in this person's physical body. I was seeing through his eyes his passing, and he had an epileptic seizure, but I saw like his apartment, and then where he was on the other side, and he was floating and wrapped in this gauze, and what I perceive as angels were all singing and holding this space. And it was the most loving experience I have ever felt. Colors I can't explain, any of that stuff. And then these light beings came forward and said to come back at another time. And so I said, okay. And so we ended the session and we did it again later. And then that person came forward and said that they were in a healing space because of, I guess, whatever it was. But in that in-between space, I got into a little bit of a funk. So does that happen with people with the near-death experience? Like what I felt was the most unconditionally loving space I have ever felt in my life. Like it was so warm and so loving that felt like home, and here did not feel like home.
Well, yeah. You have that conflict.
Yeah.
Between here and there. Certainly you do.
But it took a bit to get to that gratitude and being of service and connecting heart space to heart space and feeling all that is. Like there was about a 3-month period for me in.
Look, a near-death experience can be difficult. It can be very difficult because you don't know what to do. What happened to you? And how do you explain that? And what do you do with it? And you feel different and you think different. And you feel like getting on the nearest mountaintop and screaming to the world that God is.
Mm.
Well, he'd be looked at as some kind of Looney Tune, but that's what you feel like doing because that's the new you. The new you sees further and farther, and you know more, and you can do more, and life itself becomes very confusing. And the biggest puzzle is how do you live with it? And that's one of the wonders of IANS, the International Association of Near-Death Studies, and the various programs that they have. And by the way, every week they have this long line of the email that comes out of places you can go and visit that night and get help right then.
Oh, that's amazing.
Someone you can talk to right then.
That's amazing.
Oh, it's an amazing group.
That's brilliant. Yeah, that's a brilliant community and service that you offer for people. So you're right, Denise. Thank you very much for the heads up. So I need to just pause for a second and do our station ID. So if you are just joining us now, thank you so much for being here. You are listening to Spirit Switchboard, and I am your host, Carrie Lynn Shellhorn. You are listening to us live on the United Public Radio Network and the UFO Paranormal Network. 105.3 in the Gulf Coast and 107.7 FM in New Orleans, folks. And if you are interested in finding out more about the hosts and the network and the shows that we have to offer, you can head to uprntalkradio.com. There is something for everyone. There's thousands of archives for you to access and enjoy. Today's guest is author and researcher P.M.H Atwater, and we are discussing her book that just came out Wednesday, folks, Aliens and the Near-Death Experience. And you do have your copy there. I'm so glad that you were able to do that. Aliens and the Near-Death Experience, just released on Wednesday, folks. Wherever you purchase books published by Inner Traditions, and you can head to PM.
You can go to Amazon.
Amazon, yep. If you head to P.M.H.Atwater.com, you can sign up for her newsletter as well too. It's the monthly newsletter. Yeah, you can head there as well too. James, I see you. So James is saying, this is my person. And he loves me so beautifully.
Oh, good.
And I love him equally. So James is sharing, good evening, ladies. I've been listening while driving and loving the chat. Going to miss the rest, but we'll go back and finish up after saying hello to my fur babies.
Good.
Yeah.
Well, you have a good following. This is wonderful. People that can tune in and see what you're doing now, what you've done before.
Yeah.
And sort of keep track of you.
Well, and be able to express, like, Denny has read your books and he was very excited for you to be here where he has this opportunity to connect as well too. And I think that's what's lovely about having this community is, that we all get to support one another from different places in the world all at one time, right? It's amazing. Marianne Sutton, I love you too. I'm so grateful that you're here and hanging out in the chat. I appreciate all of you. I guess I want to know more about I know that you don't want to share everything that's in the book because we really are encouraging everybody to have that experience.
I bet you wanted to.
No, I was thinking more about how you approached the research for it in being able to blend those two.
Just tell me about your near-death experience.
Mm.
There is, I have to. You have to have had a near-death experience between then, when I'm calling, and a year. So there was a span of time of 1 year
Okay.
between having just had the experience, or maybe you had it a year ago. But it has to be that span of time. And during that span of time, there would be something about that experience that really grabbed you or held you or changed your life to such an extent that that you were no longer who you were before.
Right.
And fortunately, I had several people who this UFO group. What are they called? Well, anyway,
MUFON.
MUFON.
Yeah.
Found out what I was doing, and they came and helped find people. I thought that was just marvelous of MUFON, and
Right.
and so all of us are in there, trying to find people, and by golly, it really didn't take long at all to find 38 people.
No.
And some of the cases were interesting, some of them silly, some of them scary.
So I've heard of people having very scary near-death experiences as well too.
Oh,
Also,
sure, they can be
life,
hellish. They can
yes,
be hellish as well as heavenly.
yeah,
Absolutely.
and equally life-altering.
Oh, yeah. Now, here's a case. This is Frances. She went to lecture on natural hallucinogens at the University of Missouri and discovered heavenly blue morning glory seeds and that they were a little trippy. So she accidentally stumbled across a spring seed spinner display at a grocery store. And she bought 12 packages of them, and she ingested all 12 packages. Well, everything I touched felt interesting, sensual, like my face, food, super tasty, explosion of sensations. Went to another phase, experience, vastness of space and consciousness. The seed tonic coating started to work on my gut, severe case of diarrhea. All the time, space merged into new spasms. I became helpless to maintain my connection with the 3D world. Needed my friend, he ignored me. A power stepped in, it helped me. Took many years. I discovered the mothering angel of the void, like a lot of people talk about the void, that saved me, the Black Madonna of this energy. Uh, Counteracted the poisons, began to reconnect with reality, took hot soaking baths, my mind had changed. I experienced a change in consciousness. God itself awakened my self awareness, both mathematics and geometry, suddenly rightful, the way things are. Had to share this with fellow teachers, had to call him. He listened. Knew I had brushed the face of God. Inner knowledge and belief in God, not just the God so many think they're interested in. Some of these cases are just really grab you. Let's see about this one with Bonnie.
Marianne saying that sounds like the 60s.
intubated, tube run down her nose, urinary bag, zero memory. I'm an RN and have inserted a few. I know the discomfort of intubation. I had oxygen going, IVs filled with medications I am allergic to. Screamed at them. They heard me days later. I had swelled hugely, thought I was talking. Sister said, "It's not your time." Had 6 animals to care for. Her children said, "Come home, Mom. It's not your time." After my afterlife heaven, argued with someone. I'm a good person. I deserve a tunnel and lights and angels and family and friends. Others said nothing. Geez, no one deserves anything like this. We are all given movement. Suddenly, I'm in a dark office, comfortable behind a desk with 5 extraterrestrials there. I was calm. They were kind and pleasant. I felt like I was being interrogated by them. I asked, "Are you our human DNA?" And they replied, "Yes, we are." These were my relatives, and I was home. Alien ET are unlike humanity. We humans are mammals. They are not. They are not warm and cuddly, nor are they impatient. They don't jump up and down unless it serves them. They are not mean. They do not appreciate good humor, good manners. They regard us as males and females. We are the ones who made differences and separated good and better. Who made differences and separated good and better? It is our desire for kingdoms, rulers, bad snakes, good ones. Aliens do not have beliefs like we do. ETs let us fight our own battles as if we were a new species and had to, without their influence, learn differences. They hauled me, they handed me papers of binary codes and were surprised I couldn't read any of them. I just love that one.
Thank you for reading those.
Well, here's another one. This is from Jima. She's 6 years old. My first NDE occurred when I was 6. My single mother and I were living in an efficiency apartment in Sydney, Australia in 1978, when her boyfriend decided to sedate me for reasons I'm unsure of, but feel it had more romantic privacy with my mother. Unfortunately, he overdosed me, and my mother had to rush me to the hospital. As she drove there, at some point, my pulse stopped. I don't know how long that ended up being in linear physical time. I only know at some point I was rising up out of my body, up out of the car to its roof, and kept floating forward until I came to a halt and hovered, as if I were floating and hovering over the car, as it was driving rapidly down the road. I was looking at the rooftop of the car, and I remember thinking, I wanted to be able to see inside the car. And at that moment, I had this thought. Most of the roof seemed to melt away, allowing to see my mother behind the wheel. And I could sense how extremely tense she was. And I looked at my body sprawled on the back seat, appearing to be unconscious, lifeless. And I remember thinking the whole thing was odd looking, but interesting enough. It wasn't scary. I just recall feeling very relaxed about the whole thing. Anyway, as the car screeched and slid out of its lane, It side-struck one of those old-timey metal barriers that used to be on roadways and came to a screeching halt. I saw my mother in tears, and I could hear her loud sobbing as she pounded the steering wheel. At that point, my heart broke for her. It was the first time throughout my OBE out-of-body experience that I felt any sort of negative feeling or pain. It was also that moment I felt like a huge hand grab me and take me away from that scene. I put quotations around the word grab me because although the presence was taking me in what felt like the palm of their hand, it was done extremely loving and at the same time lightning fast. And and it feels odd for me to say because I felt like me. I'd become used to and more like a dense ball of light. And these cases just go on and on like that. There's 38 of them.
That's an amazing story. Like, and a being of light. That's the thing that grabbed my attention in that too.
Yeah.
A being of light. Marianne is sharing, I am in an NDE group on Facebook and read the comments from everyone. They all have different experiences. I think it's all about your beliefs. It's an amazing group.
Get in a group because it's very helpful. That way you can share, you can listen to other people, you can come to realize that it's not just you. There's a lot of people who had experiences like this. And you can share, and in sharing, it's not so scary.
So, do you find people shift? I mean, people will shift emotionally, probably spiritually, but what about intuitively? So,
Oh, yeah. I mean, just forget about intuition. That's part of the package.
yeah.
That's nothing different. That's part of the package. But some near-death cases are
So,
really dark and scary. They're,
mhm,
they're all light and wondrous, wonderful. Some of them are very very scary, and these are the people that visit hell, and or what we might call hell, and they're people that go that way too. It's not just heavenly. There's hellish. There's in between. There's different kinds of cases. That's why it's so important to get in with a group or certainly with IANDS, IANDS, and get a part of these kinds of people, these kinds of groups that know about this experience and then the different ways it can go. And indeed, it can trip you up. I think where it's the most difficult is with children, especially if that child was a baby.
mm,
You can have a near-death experience when you're being born,
so
and they do.
yes.
And when you're just a little kid, and it's really difficult for children because suddenly they know everything and it doesn't fit. They don't know what to do with it because it doesn't fit. So what does fit is to stay within their own inner knowing, their own way. And in doing that, they become very odd and very different, very different. In their family, they can stick out like a sore thumb because they simply don't fit anymore.
Right.
Some of them are able to handle that. Some of them cannot. Um, And throughout their growing years, they're just absolutely different. Many of them grow up with no feeling for the human race, with a feeling instead for something that is larger and bigger and different.
Right. So do many people, will they remember their, like,
Some do, some don't.
and is it through counseling or therapy, even EMDR, would that help them remember that
What
experience?
helps them the most is if they get to simply talk. Just let them talk.
But if it happened during birth, they wouldn't, that memory wouldn't be there, would it? Like it would, would it?
There, but it's different.
It's buried.
Well, what we find with those that have them as they're born or they're babies, or they're a very young child, one of the things that's typical of a near-death experience is you can take out-of-body trips. I mean, that's typical, taking an out-of-body trips. And so what those little kids do is if they'll leave their body, say mom or dad left the house, they'll leave their body and they'll track the parent.
I have
finding out what the parent's doing.
Three of my four children.
I like that.
Out-of-body experiences when they were small.
Yeah.
And up until two of them, up until teenage years. And I'm sure they could now if they chose to, but
maybe finally had enough.
Yeah. They're more like, Mom, that's your job. We want to do this instead. So, but it's more than that, because it makes life magical as well too, right? You trust yourself with the decisions that you're making, and you don't give your power away. So there's you stay in your full autonomy that way.
Okay. Here's a couple of books I'd recommend.
Okay. I'm here for it. I already wrote the one book, folks.
The Forever Angels. These are children and their experiences. All about the positive and the negative of children's experiences. The Forever Angels. Near-death experiences in childhood and their lifelong impact. The other one, for growing up in and through a near-death experience, is Edgewater.
So I saw that, and that one, like,
Lives and Deaths of P.M.H Atwater.
So I saw that one on Amazon, and that one popped out at me like 3D. So I knew that I needed that. So I saved it for later because I wanted to finish this one first.
Yeah.
I can read it. I'll read about it.
But on the kids is very, very important.
And future memory.
Yeah.
Future memory is one that you suggested earlier as well.
Well, there's a lot of good books out there. Well, just get on my website, and you'll find out about a lot of these books and a lot of suggestions that are made.
Okay. Because you also have your blog.
Yes.
That's on the website.
And the new one on the website too. Yeah, and it has some of my own experiences in there.
Gotcha. I think I moved it all away now. I did. We went exactly where we needed to be, which is good. I always get nervous and I overthink things, so I write out 4 pages of questions, and then I never end up using them because we just go other places, right?
Yeah.
So, okay, there's a question that I do have that I feel would be good to discuss. How do we hold space for both The fear and the wonder that happens in those experiences then, because we have talked about, some of the near death experiences are scary and
They
not
are indeed.
like, and the same with alien experiences. Some people have experiences that don't feel
Yeah,
supportive, right? So
no.
how do we hold space for both? Like how do we hold space for both?
Well, I don't know that we hold space for it. What I would recommend is that we learn as much as we can about it
Mm.
and realize that these can be normal.
Well,
They
maybe
can be very normal, even if they're frightening, even if they're scary, even if they're skeletons.
so maybe a better way for me to phrase that is supporting someone that is sharing that. If they choose to share this experience, how can we best support them?
Listen,
Mm.
just listen,
Yeah.
and then say thank you.
Right. It is a privilege to feel that somebody feels safe to share those things with us, that we feel safe to them to share is always, it's a privilege.
Well, I certainly found that out when I was going after the negative near-death experiences, because there certainly are there, and find out that with some people, especially this one woman who just had skeletons all over, and she was up and down skeletons, like they were everywhere, and it scared her, and it scared her terribly. Um, and I asked her, "Did you ask them to go away?"
Mm.
I never thought of that.
Mhm. So,
Sometimes the antidote is simple. It is so simple. But again, recommend INs.
is that what you would say too to someone? So if we have someone who's had an experience, but they're having trouble explaining it, or they
Let
are
them listen to the
afraid
show.
to talk about it, right?
Let them listen to this show.
Mm.
Yes, it's good to talk about it, but not everybody can.
No.
Sometimes you just can't say the words. Um, one of the things I wanted to talk about, Edgewalker. I couldn't stand my mother. I could not stand my mother.
I'm sorry for laughing.
Absolutely not. I couldn't stand my mother. Well, I was raised by Norwegians, so I was not raised by my mother, and I couldn't stand her. I didn't like her, and and so in the closing years of her life, I would call her up about every week, maybe every 2 weeks, but usually every week. And she would start immediately cussing and cursing and um, just vile, vile, vile. And when she was all through, I would always say, "Thank you, mother. Goodbye." That's all I'd say. And I'd do it like every week or two. I did that for 2 years.
Mm.
I did that for 2 years
Wow.
when she finally passed away. And I came to realize that love has many sides,
Mhm.
and all sides are beautiful. And that my mother finding solace because I gave that to her because I would just listen.
Mm.
I've never said anything at all. I just listened, and when I was through, I said thank you. And that was enough.
Mm.
That was enough. And when she finally died, she died in peace.
Well, for me, I feel that's so important. And because if they're not, and they're not restful on the other side, I think that we have issues. It still affects us. We want them to be at peace. We need
Well,
them to be
yeah.
at peace.
Sometimes being at peace is very different than we think it is. My mother was at peace when she was totally and completely vile. When she was totally and completely hateful.
But I mean on the other side, after they pass. So wouldn't her spirit recognize that? Wouldn't it?
I don't know. And I don't think it matters that I know. What matters is that after years of doing this, she died in peace.
Yeah.
Yeah. You can't really put that in a box or define it in any way.
Yeah. Relationships are complicated. Those kind of relationships are complicated.
Yeah. So, and I had one of those complicated relationships.
How did that affect you? How did that help you make the choices that in how you wanted to be as a partner and as a mom, as a grandma, as a great grandma? How did that affect you in the choices that you made?
Well, sometimes it worked and sometimes it didn't.
Does your mom ever slip out of your mouth by accident? Has it ever?
What?
Do you know, have you ever done something or said something where you're like, oh, that was my mother?
Sorry about that.
Yeah. I have told my children, if I ever say something that sounds like grandma, hit me over the head with a shovel and take me out back, because I do not want to be that way. I don't want to live
the kids
with negative. It's negative first and fear first. And to me, that's always so sad. For like,
not necessarily. Even fear can be a wonderful thing.
But to live that way all the time, for me, I feel like that.
I let them be who they are. And I think the funniest part was Terry, my husband, when he was taking over, trying to the babies of my youngest daughter, and especially Richard, and he'd put Richard over his shoulder, and try to burp him, and the kid would spit all over him, and I don't want this. But those two grew up together, loving each other, and you'll love this report. When Richard got to be 5 years old, he's now, I don't know, in his 30s or 40s, but when he got to be 5 years old, his mother was taking him on a little walk in Harrisonburg, Virginia, which is a small town, and got to stop where you just had to wait on the lights, and there was a black fellow ahead of us, and Richard just took off to that guy, grabbed him by the legs, and said, "I love you, I love you, I love you, I love you." And my daughter was so embarrassed. She said, "Well, he has a grandfather that's black." And the guy looked down at this little kid loving his leg and said, "I hope you never forget that. You never forget that we're just as loving as anybody else."
Yeah.
So you have these magic moments, and just take advantage of them.
I wrote about that last week, actually. My granddaughter, I take her to school every day. I have I'm able to take her to school every day. So she was telling these moms, all the moms that had little babies, she was just yelling at them, "I love your baby. I love you as a mom. I love you. I love your baby." She was telling everybody. She was picking up all the worms off the sidewalk and moving them onto the grass so nobody would step on them. She was
She's like Richard when he was little.
so sweet.
Yeah, I love you, I love you, I love you.
Marianne is asking, do you think that those people that had that much anger bring anger with them to the other side when they die?
Well, certainly they do. And that anger can find its own peace. It can find a place for itself, or it can be dissolved, or can just remain anger. It will be what it needs to be, and that's all right. And if that bothers you, then do something about it. You know?
That's what I say. Is this my stuff or your stuff? Figure it out.
Do something about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Let's remind everybody. Would you remind everybody where they can purchase your book, the newest book, and the ones that we've... Oh, I wrote them down. Future Memory, Forever Angels. Those were the other books. And Edgewalker.
All of my books you can get from Amazon.com. All of them.
Yeah.
Or from Barnes & Noble. You know, they can certainly order them for you.
Right.
They should not be difficult to find at all. They're readily available. And of course, this new one is brand new. So you ought to be able to find that just about anywhere. And if they don't have it, they can get it right away. And then sign up for my free monthly newsletter. And enjoy yourself. Laugh.
Go to the website and sign up for the newsletter, yes. And the association. The name of the association again? Sorry.
I am. The International Association of Near-Death Studies.
Thank you.
International Association of Near-Death Studies. You want to get a hold of them, it's IANDS. And let's see, do I have another one that's closer? Let's see. No, I don't have it close at all. Sorry about that. But you shouldn't have any problems with IANDS or just the International Association of Near-Death Studies.
Thank you.
And they offer all kinds of programs. And yes, you want to be a part of their work. Every year they hold a big yearly seminar. They're always huge. They're always fantastic. My husband and I are going this year. It's the last week of August, and it's near Seattle, Washington.
Oh.
So absolutely go, because not only will you enjoy yourself and the speakers, but they have incredible speakers, and just being there, being a part of this kind of climate of people and thoughts and things.
Right. Thank you.
And if you go this year, I'll be there. Yes. Terry and I will be there.
That's fabulous. Thank you so much. Thank you for being here and sharing time with me. And I just appreciate you. Thank you. Next week, folks, I just needed to call it up because didn't want to make a mistake, because sometimes I do that. Perdita Finn. So I have author Perdita Finn coming on, and the book that she's that we're going to be discussing is called Mothers of Magic. It's about summoning the wisdom of our ancestors. So that's what we're going to be chatting about next week. Thank you, everybody in the chat, for your questions and sharing time, space, and energy with us. It's very much appreciated. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for being part of the community. Thank you to Joe Montaldo, the owner of our network, Michelle DeRoche, our network manager. Thank you to the United Public Radio Network and the UFO Paranormal Radio Network, 105.3 in the Gulf Coast and 107.7 FM in New Orleans. Thank you very much, everybody, for being here, and I hope to see you next week. Enjoy your weekend, everyone. Good night.
Absolutely. Bye.
Bye.